miracle.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Articulate Warbling. I do apologise for the terrible audio, and if my voice seems to crack, I'm a little under the weather, but I've just watched a really good fucking film. A film I've had on Blu-ray for at least a month or two now. I should have really have watched it as soon as possible.
It's a miracle.
And that film is Immaculate. Fuck me, what a movie. See, as shit as I feel, as much as I should be resting up, nursing myself, I have to talk about this movie. This film does not fuck about. Holy fuck. It is probably the most fast-paced horror movie I've seen in a long, long while. And fast-paced in a good sense. It isn't of the vibe of a thriller like you push out The Invisible Man from Blumhouse. Blumhouse is pseudo-horror. A lot of them are almost high-concept science fiction, gory thrillers. But with the Blumhouse production company logo and its reputation, it's marketed as a horror. But this is quite unlike any of the films of this ilk. It's unlike any movie that's centred upon nuns and fertility and the Immaculate Conception, though there's a plethora of Italian giallo or Italian nunsploitation films. This is like one of the most American nunsploitation films I have seen. I think it works. A lot of people are very snooty and believe that the nunsploitation cinema should be sequestered in certain foreign markets. I like what the director Michael is doing here. All too often these movies take their time in setting the scene, even if they're not R-rated movies like Powell and Pressburger's Black Narcissus. It's slow, it takes its time, it's almost seeping in that gothic religiosity for the cinematography, the costumes, the set design, and it does take its time to get to its overall point. But this is different. It's very different. Though it takes its time in certain aspects, it just wants to get you to the next beat, the next moment. And I feel that the director Michael really knows what he wants as a director. He even said on the commentary, I don't want to beat around the bush. I'm paraphrasing here. I don't want to beat around the bush. I just want to get to the next bit. I just want to get to the next beat. I don't want to sit in this. I don't want people to go see this movie and they don't have enough time to deconstruct it on the drive home or at the bar after the film. And even though he also makes an argument that certain movies need to be 3 hours long, his overall opinion is movies of this ilk don't need to exceed the 2-hour mark. And this goes at, without credits, it's almost 79 to 80 minutes long, and that's pretty impressive.
It's a miracle.
He just wants to get to the good bits, and he doesn't want to beat around the bush, and I really admire that. And I've gone around shifting things, looking at different reviews, different sources, different outlets, and for every review that I have read that has the utter nerve to suggest that it only kicks off at the 75-minute mark, those who said that, those people are full of shit.
He's very intelligent. He's full of shit.
What are they fucking talking about? What type of movie are they watching?
You're full of shit is what you are.
They're obviously confusing this with something else. For all of those reviews, I've read others that just can't quite seem to put their finger on whether they love the film or hate the film.
I don't know.
Whether it works or it doesn't. And then there's those purists who, are gore hounds and just want to admire Sydney Sweeney because of her two huge, massive eyes. You know what I'm getting at, fellas. She's kind of been labelled as that. Oh, she's only good for her body, her breasts.
Oh my god,
And from what little I've seen of her, I feel behind those two massive orbs, not her breasts, eyes, it's soulless. It doesn't seem like she's really given much to do. She's there as a object of desire. And it kind of puts you off, And This movie is gonna appeal to people who've got a fetish about nuns, people in habits. And the whole nunsploitation side of things, there's people who have their place like Kim Newman who love it and see the artistry in it. Every nunsploitation I've watched, it's I can take it. Sometimes it goes beyond the levels of sexploitation, and the other times it doesn't go far enough. But this isn't about sexuality, though it is about ownership of a woman's body, ownership over a woman's autonomy of her womb. But it's not preachy, and I think it is a mini masterpiece, because in all honesty, when it started off, I felt that it plunged itself in the water too quick, and I was just like, whoa, I can't catch up, what's going on? And then I was kind of a little bit like, because you're so predisposed, you're so brainwashed and used to, programmed to these movies to take their time, you kind of feel like there's going to be no character depth. But then soon enough the movie kicks off. There's a whole DNA to the edit, to the cut, to how it's filmed, the camera angles, the lighting, the score, and I was pretty glad of that fact. We don't need to world build. We kind of, people come into this are horror fans or know enough about the horror and know enough of what this environment means. And in a sense, we know the major themes, and we automatically get a sense of what the social commentary is running through it. We know what they're tapping into, and it's almost like just buckle in and admire the vibe and enjoy the fucking ride. And I'm also glad to report that Sydney Sweeney is really fucking good. She gives it her all. Emotionally, you get a sense of her history without her not doing much, and I'm so glad that though she is known more for her two huge, oftentimes lifeless eyes and ample breasts, like I said before, she's not really given much to play with, whereas here she gives so much. The emotion, you can tell the trauma, the history behind her eyes in her performance before any form of exposition or character history is offered. And to read up on this being Sydney Sweeney's own personal passion project, her own wee baby, which was something she auditioned for 10 years back, and has seemed to be a passion project that she's only managed to get made due to her most recent commercial success with Euphoria and all such and sundry. And the film had been in development hell for ages. I'm really glad to say this movie suits Sydney Sweeney, these types of roles, and to hear that she's a very hands-on producer, not just name alone, I like that. I get more of a sense of what she is as an artist, and I know a lot of people have mocked her for her opinions on talking about her body, in this world, people just look at people and it's vanity, it's all sex, it's all glamour, and a lot of people kind of rinsed her for saying I felt awkward in my attractive body, and I always felt like people pegged me as this person, so I offered it off to the world, and I'm still going to do that in an almost reverse psychological twist. And I know a lot of people have gone, oh, poor Sydney Sweeney, oh, poor you've got the most amazing body ever, you're probably one of the most beautiful people on this planet, oh, how do you survive? But I kind of understand where she was coming from. But aside from all that nonsense and people just being dickheads online, she is a skilled actress. This showcases a lot. And the movie has a dark streak of humour in it. It's not just dead on serious and straight. And it just goes to completely other levels, and levels you don't actually anticipate, even though within the script and certain character dialogues between certain characters you should pick up on it, you should conclude before it even comes about. There's a lot of twists and turns, and that fucking ending is whoa, it's explosive. And so is this film. It's truly a tour de force. It's gory, it's luscious, it's textural, it's just propulsive, and I give it 4 stars out of 5. It is a mini masterpiece, and I highly recommend you go watch it. Anyway, if you want to be an articulate warbler and want to get away with just articulately warbling, hit subscribe, it would mean a lot. And did you see this movie? Did you like this movie? What is your opinion on Sydney Sweeney? Had you ever been interested in her as an actress? Or were you just one of those schlubs who's like, yeah, she's sexy, I want to see her with her clothes off? I've said to so many people online, you guys, you do know that free porn sites exist. You do know Google exists. Everyone's going, oh, I hope she takes her clothes off. As if, like, they've never searched in a Google search bar, Sydney Sweeney nude. Trust me, the images are out there. The sex scenes are out there. The Voyeur, from the same director of this film, where Sydney Sweeney shows all. Not all, but all. For you dedicated perverts out there. But, aside from modifying her as the perfect package, she's a very good actress, and I'd like to see her tackle more serious subject matter, and I'd also like to see her not veering to becoming a scream queen, because I think that would be quite an easy place to become a one-trick pony, but produce other projects, get projects up and going, use her name to create. But anyway, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll leave you with that.
It's a miracle.
I don't know. What?